let's kick things off here on the vaccine front, as we've seen about 145 hospitals and other sites getting that vaccine in terms of the doses rolling out to the American public here, starting with the frontline workers and nursing home populations. We're going to see another 425 sites receive doses tomorrow, according to the Operation Warp Speed overseeing general there. Pfizer shipping out nearly 3 million doses in this first wave, with more expected in the coming weeks. We're also checking to see if Moderna's EUA will be coming through by the end of the month as well. But for more on that, let's get started with our first guest today. Dr. Venkatesh Nagalpadi is CFP Physicians Group President. He joins us now. And Dr. Nagalpadi, appreciate you taking the time to chat with us here. I mean, you're seeing these roll out. People have been waiting for this moment. Now, finally, here as those first vaccine injections start coming out. What's your take on where we're at as we continue to see cases rising, but now finally have the positive vaccine news to watch?
Good morning, and thanks for having me. And again, it is exciting, and it's our first step in this battle against COVID. And while we are all excited and looking forward to the vaccine rolling out, there's still a lot of cautious optimism with that. The reasons for that, twofold, is the delivery and the fact that it's 2 doses. 21 days apart for the Pfizer and 28 days apart for the Moderna. So it's the entire logistics of making sure that our patients get both doses, because all the studies point to the fact that 2 doses are required to have good immune system response to the COVID-19 vaccine. So kind of going through the logistics of administering and making sure that everyone gets the optimal vaccine doses is a challenge, but I'm sure we can we'll deal with this day by day. But on a front where I oversee the group, which is primarily a geriatric group. We provide services in skilled nursing facilities and assisted living facilities, and on an outpatient basis too. So all of our homes are ready. All of our patients have consents, and they are in place. The delivery mechanisms are in place. We're just waiting for the vaccines to hit the doors, and then we should be good to go. The idea or the goal is to vaccinate most of our residents in institutions before December the 25th, or at least by the end of the year is what our goal is.
That is the expectation, but in the general public, there's been a lot of skepticism around just how safe the vaccine is. A lot of Americans saying, look, when it comes time for my vaccination, when I'm in line, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to get it. What are you hearing from patients on the ground in those nursing homes that you serve?
So in the nursing homes and assisted livings, and even in the outpatient setting where I see geriatric patients, it's 95% of the patients are open to getting the vaccine. The way I put it is it beats the alternative. I know every vaccine has a side effect. Every vaccine is going to react differently to patients, but that's basically your immune system learning to fight the illness. So it's a constant process of education, sifting through all the false information out there. And you're just having a frank conversation with your patient saying, hey, this is what we have. This is the way the vaccine works. This is how we train your immune system to respond to the virus when or if exposed. And these side effects are part and parcel of the vaccine protecting you. So with that being said, as a physician, when I have a conversation with my patient, about 95% of the patients over the age of 65 are going to get the vaccine. They are actually looking forward to getting the vaccine because this is the first step in a little long battle with COVID.
95% would be much higher than what we're seeing out of the latest Pew survey there. About 60% of Americans now say they'd get the vaccine. That's up from 51% back in September. So, I mean, if we do see 95%, it would be positive for the country as a whole. But just when you step back and look at, I guess, the availability that's going to be there once we get past patients like the ones you serve or frontline healthcare workers as well, what are you grading, I guess, this nation's preparedness, considering the fact that we're only going to be seeing a limited amount of doses doses up until we get through into the beginning of 2021. Talk to me about how that looks in your eyes and what grade you would give it, considering those distribution challenges you're talking about and making sure everything's going to be going according to plan.
From my standpoint, in this long slugfest with the illness, anything is a positive. So any step in the right direction, I view as a positive. Obviously, there are things that could be improved upon and could have been done better. But that being said, we kind of roll with the punches. At this point, I like to look at the positives. I like to improve and build upon what we've learned so far. And even if it's 1 million doses now, 3 million doses by the end of the week, and hopefully about 20 million doses before the end of the month, I view it as a positive. I think it's definitely a step in the right direction.
And Doctor, how are you doing in terms of staffing? We've heard a number of hospitals, for example, say that they don't have the staffing in place to inoculate everybody at the rate with which they need to be. What are you hearing on the ground there?
It's definitely at, what do I say? We're at limits with staffing, both in the inpatient and the outpatient settings. So, vaccinating the frontline workers is a key step in the right direction in maintaining what's called a healthcare capacity to be able to provide the services needed for the population. So protecting the healthcare workers, again, is a step in the right direction at preserving our capacity to care for our patients.
Yeah, it's a strange time to be focusing on the positive there on the vaccine front, but also watching more cities around the U.S. moving in the opposite direction in terms of shutdown orders. We'll be chatting that later in the show. But for the time being, appreciate focusing on the positivity with you there. Dr. Venkatesh Nagalpadi, CFP Physicians Group President. Appreciate you taking the time again.